You're right on time for Hope TV News on this 8th day of April 2024. Now, after a short break, the dialogue KE finally resumes tonight, and on the show, I'll be joined by the national chairman of KMPDU, that is Dr. Abedan Mwachi, as we have a dialogue on the doctor's strike, which is in its fourth week now, and at the end seems to be out of sight as for now. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kimani, and my co-presenter on the Sun language interpretation tonight is Boniface Moredi. Now, President William Ruto has said that he is satisfied with the ongoing distribution of fertilizers in the country. Speaking earlier today when he made an impromptu visit at the Eldoret National Cereals and Produce Board Depot in Uasin Gishu County, the head of state, however, warned that the government will deal with fraudsters trying to undermine the country's food production program by selling fake fertilizer. Nelia Sonjiro begins our bulletin with the following report.
As the issue of fake fertilizer continued to elicit mixed reaction in the country, President William Ruto has issued a stern warning to individuals involved in saying those behind the illicit trade will be arrested and prosecuted. President William Ruto spoke on Monday when he made an impromptu visit at the Eldoret National Cereals and Produce Board NCPB Depot in Uasin Gishu County, underscored the government's commitment to safeguarding the agricultural sector and protecting farmers from fraudulent practices.
Tumepanga vizuri, mambo hii yote ya fertilizer iko sawa sawa. Tuko na kampuni karibu 4 ambayo tunashirikiana pamoja na wao. Kuna kampuni moja iko na kasoro kidogo, lakini tunarekebisha kwa sababu hatutaki mtu achukue nafasi ya kuharibu hii kazi nzuri wakulima wanafanya.
Ruto explained that he is committed to ensuring enough food production to support more livelihoods. He went ahead in hailing Kenya farmers for the role they play in increasing food production.
Mimi kwanza nataka niwapongeze nyinyi wakulima, kwa sababu nyinyi ndio wazalendo wakuu wa taifa letu la Kenya. Munazalisha chakula yenu na munatusaidia kulisha Wakenya wengine. So hiyo ni uzalendo ambayo inafaa sisi wote kama Wakenya kujifunza kutoka kwake. Na mimi nataka niwashukuru Wakenya wengi sasa wamerudi mashambani wanalima.
The president noted that he will keep pushing for the reduction of fertilizer prices so as to make farming more profitable, adding that it is possible to turn farming into a lucrative venture.
So tutashirikiana pamoja na nyinyi, na ndio nilisema wakati nilisimama hapa kwenu nikawaambia hii mambo ya mbolea mimi nitasota. Mbolea hiyo ilikuwa inaiswa 6,000, saa hii si mnalipa hapa 2,500. Yes. Ama namna gani? Ninalipa hapa 2,500. Yes. Sasa mniombe next year nipange tena nipange ama ifanye hivyo. So mniombe kidogo tupange namna hiyo. Na mnajua Mungu pia ametubarikia. Sisi tumepata mvua jameni. Sisi tunashukuru Mungu. Kwa sababu mbali na sisi kupanga, mbali na kupanga mbolea, mbali na kwenda bidii shambani, Mungu pia ametubarikia mvua. Na tunashukuru sana, tuzalishe chakula, kumaanisha hata Mungu anataka sisi tuzalishe chakula ya kutosha, tuondoe njaa. Hiyo ni kazi ya muhimu, na pia hii kilimo tunataka kutumia kuendesha viwanda yetu, vijana wapate kazi na pia tufanye export.
This comes as members of parliament earlier today summoned Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries CS Mithika Linturi to explain on fertilizer probe in the country. Linturi either has asked parliament for more time to furnish lawmakers with all the documents needed in the ongoing probe into fake fertilizer distributed in Kenya under the disguise of government subsidized fertilizer. Tigania West member of parliament John Kanyuthia, who is the chairperson of the committee, noted that while Linturi's team in their report submitted that the Kenya Bureau of Standards (KEB) had all the documents to prove the National Cereal and Produce Board (NCPB) distributed authentic fertilizer, the documents were not among those presented to the Agriculture Committee. Reporting for Hope TV News Watch, my name is Nelias Wanjiru.
Thank you so much, Nelias, for that report. Still matters fake fertilizer, and police in Bungoma County have confiscated 120 bags of suspected fake fertilizer. The incident unfolded as a truck transporting the fertilizer to the ward admin's offices situated at the Kandui NGCDF premises was intercepted and impounded. While addressing the media at Bungoma Police Station, the County Senator Wakoli Wafula said the shipment occurred during the weekend in clear violation of government regulations, and the transfer of the fertilizer from the truck was being done at a petrol station, raising eyebrows by the residents.
Kuna lori iko hapa nyuma yetu ambaye tuliweza kupata information jana kutoka kwa members of the public kwamba inabeba mbolea ambayo inadhaniwa haijafikisha kiwango ni kama ni ile fake fertilizer, but just suspected. Tukaweza kuileta hapa station ikiwa na mifuko 120 ili ya kwamba tuweze kuhusisha washikadau wengine katika hili jambo, ili tuchunguze kama kweli ni mbolea inayopita kama ya ukweli ama ni mbolea gushi.
Leo tuko hapa wakulima wa Bungoma na washikadau vile vile walipasua mbarika, wakasema mbolea ambayo tunaiona si ya kawaida. Mumejionea gunia limefunguliwa, magunia mbolea iliyomo ina unyevu. Sote tunajua mbolea hii haiwezi kuwekwa kwenye unyevu ama kuruhusu maji yawemo, na iwapo mbolea hii ina unyevu kabla ya kutumika, kuna dosari. Vile vile jambo ambalo liliibua shauku ni kwamba mbolea hii ililetwa Jumamosi, majira ambayo kwamba ofisi za serikali zimefungwa. Wengi wameenda sherehe, mazishi. Ni nani atakayepokea masheneha ya mbolea ambayo yanakuja katika kaunti ya Bungoma? Na jinsi mbolea hii ilivyofika katika maeneo ya Bungoma, magari yakaegezwa kule katika mafuta ya Ola na yakaanza kuchukuliwa polepole kuletwa katika ofisi za CDF. Shida ilikuwa gani trailer lote kuenda pale CDF kushukisha bogi lote na wao kuendelea na safari?
Away from that, and Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga has directed his county public service board to stop salaries of 59 doctors taking part in the ongoing medic strike. This is after the county governor alleged that they refused to return to work as instructed. According to Governor Kahiga, the county issued 62 show cause letters to doctors who are still on strike, and only 3 responded, with the rest continuing to abscond from duty. Kahiga's move comes a week after the Council of Governors called on the striking doctors to obey court orders, suspending their strike and resume work or face the sack.
On the 3rd of April 2024, the court reiterated its earlier orders, and doctors were ordered to continue working. The county government sent out a letter notifying all doctors on the strike of the court orders and directing them to report to work without victimization on the 4th of April 2024. Pursuant thereto, the county issued 62 show cause letters to doctors who are still on strike, and only 3 have responded, absconded from duty. The consequence of these actions has been untold suffering and death to the residents of the county of Nyeri, with a clear inhibition to the right of health or right to health. The government is now left with no option but to take action against the doctors on strike, and I hereby instruct the Department of County Public Service Management and the County Treasury to immediately stop salary processing and payment to the affected doctors. Number two, thereafter, we shall move to the summary dismissal of all doctors who continue to be on strike. Finally, I would want it made very, very clear here that negotiations on matters of a collective bargaining agreement with the county government of Nyeri employees shall be handled at the county level between the Public Service Board, the relevant departments, and the relevant unions. This shall include interrogating whether the proposed recognition agreements meet the legal threshold and equally provide for mechanisms of exiting the recognition agreement.
Now renowned DJ Joseph Mwenda, commonly known as Joe Falme, and 5 others have been freed from the ongoing murder case of DCI officer Felix Kitosi. In a ruling on Monday, the court stated that Mwenda and 5 co-accused persons, including 3 police officers, shall be made state witnesses, and only Alan Ocheng, Elias Hype Balo, will face charges. They were all under investigation for the death of Kabete DCI officer Felix Kitosi, but the prosecution says only Ocheng has been found culpable. Crossing the Kenyan borders now, and Rwandan President Paul Kagame has commended Kenya on its contribution to the reconstruction of Rwanda after the 1994 genocide. Speaking at the BK Arena in Kigali during the 30th national commemoration of the genocide that claimed 1 million lives, President Kagame pointed out that Kenya hosted many fleeing Rwandese during that tragic period. On Sunday marked the start of the 100-day commemoration period, and Kenya was represented at the commemoration by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who stood in for President William Ruto.
The foundation of everything is unity. That was the first choice, to believe in the idea of a reunited Rwanda and live accordingly. The burden of Rwanda's internal problems for so many years and was even blamed for that. The leadership and the people of Ethiopia and Eritrea helped us in starting to rebuild at that time. In fact, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who is here, even served as a young peacekeeper in the immediate aftermath of the genocide. There is Kenya, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo hosted large numbers of Rwandan refugees and gave them a home.
Following the launch
the first and only bank to waive bank to M-Pesa and Airtel money transfer fees for all personal account holders, significantly reducing the cost for consumers.
Following the launch of the Nisare for personal customers, we realized that most of the customers who are coming to open accounts with us were the personal customers who are running their hustles in their personal name. And there was need for us then to think how we can be able to quickly have a solution for them. We did a quick survey in the market, and we interviewed a number of these personal customers who are in business, and 52% of them, they were able to tell us that it would be important for the bank to reprieve the mobile money transfer charges because it is such a cost in their businesses.
And this saw a rise of 27% of our customer base in the year 2023. This morning, I'm pleased to stand before you to confirm that we're committed to continuing to waive the free bank to M-Pesa and Airtel charges to our personal customers. In addition, these customers will enjoy unsecured personal loans, short-term loans, and up to 12% on their online savers account.
We can tell you that in last year, we opened office in China, Hunan, and which is operational. So if you want to deal with your trade or business in China, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce provide that access market. We want to open office in Sharjah, Dubai, and Washington, USA, before the year ends.
And to some sporting action now, the current leg of the Junior Golf Foundation US Kids Spring Tour witnessed a spectacular showdown this past weekend, culminating in a playoff to determine the top performer in the girls 9 to 10 years category. After intense competition, Ziana Kodda emerged victorious, showcasing remarkable skill and talent amidst the challenging weather conditions. Ziana's triumph came after a nail-biting playoff against Ashley Gashora and Aria Dodia, were all tied with a score of 7 over par 43 following regular play. In the playoff drama, Ziana's resilience and focus prevailed, earning her the well-deserved title.
I'm really nervous. I'm scared for what's going to happen. But I just kept telling myself, if anything happens, I should feel proud of myself and proud of my best friend, because we both tried really hard together, suffered, and we enjoyed, and yeah.
It was entertaining and very exciting. It gave me a little bit nervous, and I felt happy and then sad at the end.
Today was quite hard, like due to the rain and all that, the bad weather. My game wasn't that good. My putting let me down, especially, but everything else was fine.
The Kenya Police Bullets earned 3 points by defeating Kibera Soka Ladies 3-1 in the FKF Women's Premier League match played at the Wolves' Den grounds. Mercy Njeri opened the scoring for Kenya Police Bullets with a goal just after the 45th minute mark. Lydia Koth doubled the lead in the 66th minute. 10 minutes later, Joyce Okuku scored the only goal for Kibera Soka Ladies. Pored Anyetu sealed the victory for Kenya Police Bullets in the 82nd minute. And the KCB played out a goalless draw in their FKF Premier League match played in the early kick-off match at Machakos Stadium. Meanwhile, AFC Leopards and Sofapaka drew 1-1 at Nyayo Stadium, with Sofapaka taking the lead in the first minute through Rogers Kipkemoy's goal. AFC Leopards replied through Victor Omone's goal in the 60th minute, equalizing the scores. Well, that brings us to the end of the first part of this broadcast, but immediately after the break, we go straight into the dialogue KE, where I'll be joined in studio by the National Chair of KMPDU, Dr. Abidan Mwachi as we have a dialogue on matters doctors strike. See you on the other side.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even which of the what?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Watu wa Mungu, be the vocalist hapa. And I'm just here to give you a testament. I am a living testimony of the slogan of Hope FM, where they say, listen and live. I am such a serious testimony and a testament to that, a statement, because they have impacted my life big time. And imagine ile kitu wanauliza ni ati, the way they have impacted my life and your life. Tunaweza jaribu pia tu spread hii kitu mpaka uko mashinani, to spread hii word ya God uko mashinani. And the only thing they're requesting us to do is just contribute 100 bob. We just become partners with them. Na unapatana tu na so bob moja. Lakini pia kama una feel uko philanthropic sana, unaweza piga jili mbili. Tuende hivyo, Alright? And so they are calling it 100 for one, where you just give out 100 bob and they can reach out to another soul. And of course mnauliza, okay, tuko na iso tunatuma wapi? Iso tunatuma via M-Pesa na tuko na P-bill number. P-bill number yetu ni 933. Alafu hapo kwa account name, alright? Andika tu FOH, yani Friends of Hope. Alafu tuma ile kitu natuma. Hapo mbele ni pin number yako na ni siri yako. Alafu tu ushamaliza hii kitu, click on the send. Na imagine utakuwa umefanya kitu moja serious sana. We as Hope Media tutakuwa reach out to one soul. God bless you. Be there.
Welcome to the world of Hope Media, a media unit of Christ is the Answer Ministries that is committed to spreading the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ through the transformative power of media. Hope Media is dedicated to utilizing various forms of media to spread the message of hope, love, and redemption to all people around the world. Hope Media consists of various units that work together to achieve this goal. These units include Hope FM. Hope FM is your #1 Christian radio station, offering you discussions on current day-to-day issues, inspiring music, life-changing sermons, and news updates, broadcasting 80% in English and 20% in Swahili, with listenership of over 12 million every month. Hope TV. Hope TV programming is designed to inspire, educate, and challenge the viewer with wholesome content to reach various demographic groups, children, youth, and adults, both male and female, with viewership of over 24 million every month. Hope Recording Studios. Hope Recording Studios is a state-of-the-art recording facility that offers high-quality recording, mixing, and mastering services. It is designed to meet the needs of musicians, artists, and other creative professionals who require top-notch recording facilities. Hope Creative. At Hope Creatives, we believe that inspiring graphic design work doesn't just happen. It takes the right people with wild, out-of-the-box ideas committed to the same ideals, working together to make it happen. We listen, we learn, we brand. Hope Digital. Hope Digital is a creative digital unit within Hope Media. We are driven by a passion to creatively express ourselves while influencing you with the same creative energy in online spaces and beyond. At Hope Media, we believe that media can be a powerful tool for spreading the message of hope as well as grow your business through advertisements, and we do this with excellence. For more information regarding our services, please visit www.hopemediakenya.org or call us on 0709 861 180. Hope Media. We keep hope alive.
Je, ushawahi kuweka jambo kwenye mizani? Ushawahi kupata uzito wake? Haya basi, usitapetape zaidi. Naomba unigande, maana mizani ipo hapa kwa ajili yako.
Vyakula na mbegu za kitamaduni,
na kutuliza fikra na kukuwezesha kupima masuala ibuka katika jamii, tena kwa busara. Tukutane mizani kila Ijumaa saa 1 machweo kwenye runinga ya Hope TV.
The following content is made for audiences 18 and under. Viewer discretion is advised for mature audiences.
Expect the unexpected on the Stars Show here on Hope TV. It's getting bigger and better because it's all about talent. Anything goes from singing, dancing, magic, comedy,
Handsome ladies and beautiful men.
This show is open to any performer below 18 years of age from any background with any talent. All you need is a skill and a star quality. Just remember to join us every Saturday from 8 a.m. with me, your host, Samara Musheru.
Just at the moment, many of those who believe in Jesus are feeling what I call the big squeeze. It feels like the militant forces in society that oppose the gospel have mobilized like never before. Hi, I'm Bernie Diamond, and welcome again to Fresh. Have you been feeling that too? And honestly, as we see governments enacting legislation to limit religious freedoms, as we see those militant forces of evil becoming more and more vocal, more aggressive in jamming, in shutting down the Christian voice, it can feel as though they're winning. There's this thing that rises up inside us that goes something like this. It shouldn't be this way. If God is the King of Kings, why isn't He doing something about this? Why do I feel so persecuted for my faith? Depending on where you live, perhaps there's nothing new in any of this. Or if, like me, you live in a place that's historically encouraged and accepted the Christian voice, maybe this rising tide of persecution comes as a shock, hence that feeling of the big squeeze. But it shouldn't come as any surprise at all. As Paul wrote to Timothy 2,000 years ago, everyone who wants to live showing true devotion to God in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. People who are evil and cheat others will become worse and worse. They will fool others, but they also are fooling themselves. Did you pick that? Everyone, no exceptions. If you're devoted to Christ, you will be persecuted. And that bit about things becoming worse and worse sure feels that way, doesn't it? But here's the good news. Those evil people, they're kidding themselves. Remember, your king is still on his throne. That's his word, fresh for you today. It's under pressure that coal is turned into diamonds, amen? So if you're feeling that big squeeze, I'd love to send you a free copy of our latest life application booklet. It's called The Grace Transformation. To request yours, stop by at christianityworks.com and you'll see that free offer right there towards the top of the homepage. Again, that's christianityworks.com.
Kwa majina mimi ni Robert Wanyonyi. Mimi ni mzaliwa wa Kitale hapo Matunda Mossbridge. Na mimi nimekuwa fan wa Hope kuanzia 2007 wakati Anthony Ndiema alikuanga pale kwa studio. So nilijua Hope FM tu kulikuwa na msichana ambapo saizi ni marehemu, because sasa yeye ndiye alikuwa na time ya kusikiliza hiyo mchana, ndio pia sisi tukaanza kusikilizia hapo sababu ilikuwa ni hiyo kipindi cha Shangilia. So tukawa hapo, nikawa fan kuanzia 2007. Nikakuja pia nikaja Nairobi 2011. Nakumbuka kulikuwa na asubuhi kina Rota Kidula na nini, alikuwa Justus Owaka ndio alikuanga hiyo morning. So bahati mbaya nikaamka tu hivi asubuhi nikienda kazini, nilikuwa na duka. So kuingia kwa duka hivi, kufungua duka, kuprepare tu vile tu naelewa kazi ya duka vile inakuanga. Bahati mbaya nikafamiwa na wakora. Kibahati mbaya ambapo pia ni bahati nzuri sababu nashukuru Mungu niko mzima. Nilipigwa risasi ya spine. So hiyo risasi ikacross, ikatoka nilipigwa na right, ikacross ikakuja left, ambapo niko nayo saizi almost 7 years. Bado haijatolewa sababu walisema haiwezi kutolewa. So hapo nikakimbizwa kwa hospitali. Sasa ikawa pia bado tu sasa nikiwa kwa hospitali nikawa siwezi tena kusikiliza hiyo station, lakini rafiki yangu akaja akanibaia simu. Kwa simu nikaanza kusikiliza tena Hope FM, hiyo simu ambayo nilinunua na rafiki yangu. Sasa wakati nilikuwa nasikiliza Hope FM, nakumbuka nilisikiliza karibu mwaka moja kama niko kwa hospitali. So wakati nilikuwa nasikiliza, ambapo nilikuwa ninaamuka na Hope FM. Hiyo worship hour niko Hope FM. Kipindi cha Shangilia niko Hope FM. Route 104 niko Hope FM. Breath of Heaven niko Hope FM. Mtu unatune kutoka wapi? Because kuna wale wanatune kutoka Kitale, kuna wale wanatune kutoka Nairobi, kuna wale hata wale wanatune kama wako nje ya Kenya, wengine wako Saudi. So tukawa tunatune tu hivyo, kila mtu anasema mahali penye anatune. So mimi nikawa huwa natune nikiwa KNH, na mostly nilikuwa naandika tu KNH wote 4C. Kila siku KNH wote 4C. Hata kama ni hiyo asubuhi, hata kama ni worship hour, hata kama ni Shangilia, kila wakati ninatune tu nikiwa KNH wote 4C. So tukapandana na dada moja anaitwa Milia Chero. Hiyo time alikuwa kwa Saudi Arabia. So akaniulizia sana kujua ni nini nafanyanga hapo KNH, mimi ninafanya kazi hapo ama ni nini, sababu kila mara anaonanga uchumba wangu nina tune nikiwa KNH. Nikaambia Emilia hapana, mimi niliumizwa na wakora. So pia yani kumweleza ikawa ni kwake, ikawa ni painful story. Na sasa sababu alikuwa mbali, akatuma rafiki yake akatuma rafiki yake anaitwa Etimbogo, na huyu alikuja akanitembelea. Sasa nikawa namjua, so the following day akaenda akaongea nini, the following week Sunday yenye inafuata akaenda akaongea na marafiki zake. Sasa kuanzia hapo ambapo mwenye sikuwa na marafiki, wale marafiki zangu wa kwanza walikuwa wameniacha, kupitia Hope FM nikapata marafiki wengine wapya. Sasa wakawa wakikuja kunitembelea, wananiletea maziwa, wanakuja wananiletea maji. Ninakumbuka hata kuna Christmas moja, kuna Christmas ya 2018 Mwalimu Penati pia akaja hiyo saa 10 tukakuwa nao, yani wakatuonyesha upendo kabisa, yani tukapika mapicha at least, yani nikakuwa na furaha, nikasema kumbe kuna watu wanaweza nipenda hivyo kupitia kwa kusikiliza redio. Na hata wakati nilijajiwa hapo KNH, sababu nimekaa mwaka mmoja nikiwa peke yangu, so ilikuwa ni shangwe na nderemo. Maana yake Amani Aila alitangaza pale kwa studio kwamba Robert Wanyonyi amefanya nini, ametisajiwa. Sasa saizi hayuko KNH. Nataka nishukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya Hope FM Media. Imekuwa ya baraka kwa maisha yangu, na pia imekuwa ya baraka kwa watu wengine, sababu hata kila mahali nikienda, mahali mtu tu asikie jina anasema, unajua mimi ni mwana timu kubwa. Sasa unajua, sasa sisi wenyewe tunajuana kwa lugha. Ukisikia tu huyu ni mwana timu kubwa, jua huyu anasikilizanga Hope FM. Sasa hata unapata wengine wenye walikuanga maybe wananisikia, sasa ukikutana naye umwambie tu jina, anasema nakujua na kusikilizanga Hope FM. Na Hope FM imefanya paka hata wazazi wangu kule nyumbani Kitale wakaanza kusikiliza Hope FM sababu ya huo upendo. So Hope FM imekuwa ya baraka na imekuza moyo wangu na pia imekuza maisha yangu. So saizi bado huwa naisikiliza na bado imekuwa ya baraka, na ninajua kwamba itasitu kuwa ya baraka kwa wengi.
Hello there, praise the name of the Lord. My name is Evelyn Wanjiro. To get Naiwe Maombi as your Skiza tune, SMS Skiza 8830022 to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Now, tonight we are addressing one issue that is of national interest. That is the doctors' strike. Across its grips, Kenya's health sector, as doctors take a stand for their rights. Public hospitals have been left understaffed for 3 weeks now as the medics demand for change. But at what cost to patient care? A very good evening to you and welcome to the Dialogue KE. But first things first, let's listen in to what a section of Kenyans are saying about the doctors' strike, which is now in its 4th week.
Pesa iko, wataki kupatia madaktari. Sasa kwa hivyo pesa kama iko ili alipe madaktari juu kwa Kenya tutaumia. Maana yake hatuna pesa. Pesa tunapatiana, hata ushuru inakatwa kwa kila mtu, lakini sasa pesa mbona daktari wasilipwe? Tukienda daktari wanakutibu juu ya pesa yako. Na hii Kenya inafaa Ruto atuangalie hata sisi wagonjwa. kwa hizi mahospitali mimi kitu naweza mpatia mawaidha, angalie madaktari na si wananchi. Juu madaktari wakigoma, si wananchi tutaangamia.
There's nothing like there's no money. There's a lot of money, and a lot of this money is put to waste. We've seen the government has tried to tell us about the austerity measures, but have not been put into effect. So, for somebody to tell us that there's no money, so we can't pay doctors, actually the people who are feeling the pinch ni mwananchi wa kawaida. Sisi ndio tumetaksiwa, tumeongezewa tax. Sisi ndio tunalipa. So hiwezi kuwa kwamba the one using is the one controlling it. Wanatuambia kwamba hatuwezi lipa hao kwa sababu hakuna pesa. There's a lot of billions that we have witnessed going to waste.
Na wao sasa hivi ndo ambayo wanasimamia hospitali kubwa kubwa. Hii hospitali saizi madaktari ukitaka kuwatafuta unawatafuta kwa appointment. Lakini wanagenzi ndo wako hapo kila wakati na kila asubuhi wanafanya round, wao ndo wanasimamia hospitali. Wao wanagenzi si wagenzi wale. Wale watu ni wakubwa. Na mimi naomba rais wetu, hao watu tafadhali waangalie.
If somewhere huko juu people are not utilizing money as they should, or people are not, doing, someone somewhere hapo juu is not doing what they're supposed to do, definitely the doctors won't get paid. And if the doctors won't get paid, definitely the people are suffering, because it's not everyone that can afford a private hospital, you understand? So wale wenye kabisa they are chini kwa ukuta, they can't afford, they are getting affected, and that is wrong.
This is a crazy nation, because it's all in Kenya where you find doctors are striking, the health sector is pathetic, and the same government can spend close to 1.28 billion on domestic travels alone, you see. And we're having interns. You see, interns, these are the people who take the majority of work. If you go down in the hospital, be it the level 5 hospital, the level 3, now the CEOs also are here, the level 3 hospital you see. They're the people who handle the workload in the hospital. The consultants, you can say the consultant always, 1 hour, 2 hours, they go out. Much of the works are being done by these interns.
I feel like it's their right to demand their pay, because it's their right to strike and demand for their pay, because they are entitled to their pay.
While in studio, I'm now joined by the national chairman of the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentist Union, Dr. Abidan Mwachi. As Dr. Abidan has over 10 years of experience working in the health industry, both as a surgeon and a manager. Karibu sana to the studio. Daktari, let's begin with the reaction from Kenyans. What's your take on that? Well, I do apologize for that slight technical hitch. We had a little bit of sound issue, but we are now back. And in studio, I'm now joined by the national chairman of the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacist, and the Dentist Union, Dr. Abi Mwachi, will help us shed more light on this doctor's strike. Dr. Mwachi, karibu sana to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, let's begin by reaction. The reaction from Kenyans. What's your take on that?
The reaction gives us a mixed feeling. It brings to the fore the fact that our patients and the people who depend on us for better healthcare or to take care of their health needs do recognize us. And number one, nobody goes to medical school just to abandon their patients or whoever people that they'll seek their help midway. So in as much as it is a talk of support, we from our side, we also are very much aware that you are needed in those hospitals to do what you went to school to do. So it's a mixed feeling.
All right, we're talking about going to school. You see, doctors spend 6 years in the tertiary institution studying medicine. And when they come to the job market, you see most of the time doctors striking. I mean, you've seen many strike cycles over the years. I mean, why did the rain start beating the medics? What's the brief history of this doctor strike and every time?
The history of strikes is as old as devolution. So much of it probably can be pinned down or labeled altogether when healthcare was inappropriately devolved without following the systems and structures that were supposed to set up certain structures as to guide how the healthcare industry is supposed to run in this country. It was done very hurriedly. And so the pockets of strikes that you've been seeing are county-based. And all in all, we've also had several significant national strikes. I can remember the 2011 one, that's pre-devolution. Then we had another one in 2013. In 2013, it was just about a government not trying to honor what you agreed in 2011.
No.
Then we had 2016, that's spill over to 2017 again, where a government didn't want to honor what we had agreed upon in 2013. And now we have another 2024, where a government doesn't want to honor what you agreed upon in 2017.
All right, and one of the main issues is on the interns. They need to be well remunerated and they need to be posted, and the government, through the public service, gave the doctors 2.4 billion. But the doctors' body KMPD denied and said that interns should not pick their letters of appointment. I mean, why did you choose this path? And yet it could have sorted the issues of interns.
The truth of the matter is nobody even needed to know how much money the Treasury has allocated the Ministry of Health. If you scroll back a few reels, you'll find the Cabinet Secretary for Health saying that she has secured 4.9 billion. Then fast forward, you now come to a figure of 3.4 billion. Then fast forward, you come to a figure of 2.9 billion. This is gerrymandering. This is just them throwing figures where they actually know that it is not true. And even if it were, the doctor interns shouldn't have put us into this quagmire because they have been employed for many years under this particular collective bargaining agreement that we have. So we shouldn't even be discussing or negotiating the doctor's interns pay. It should be a foregone conclusion since it's a recurrent expenditure. And every government that comes, and governments do act in perpetuity, should actually know that these interns are supposed to be paid this particular much. If you had a calculator here and divided that figure across the many interns, because there are many cadres of interns, you'll find that that money is not even enough. But throwing a wholesome figure is just trying to portray doctors as being ingrates and as being in a condition of refusal of an offer. We needed no offer with the interns getting posted. That is a government's obligation and it should go without shouting.
President William Ruto said that interns are not employees, and the 150,000 shillings that you are requesting the government to give the interns, the president has actually said that it is a stipend for 1 year, and is actually urging the doctors to agree with what the government is offering right now, because it's just a stipend for 1 year and then later on they'll get employed by the government.
To start with the last sentence, I think I'm not as naive as to believe that the government will employ this particular group of interns simply because they took a pay cut. That's number one. Number two, the word employee has been mentioned almost 7-8 times in our KMPDC Act in reference to our intern. 7-8 times. And you'll particularly just know for all clarity that between the president and myself, I'm likely to be the one who has read the act because this is my sector. The doctor interns are actually employees. They have graduated. They have gotten all the qualifications. They're doing internship as a bridge. Just doing internship as a bridge. However, you'll also want to know that they manage 30 to 40% of the work at the hospitals. Just saying that they work under someone can even be, we'll say, a misnomer.
So what will happen to these interns whom you said that they should not pick the letters? What will happen to them?
Part of being a doctor is exercising patience. We are so patient, we will exercise our patience up until the government gets back to its senses and realizes that you cannot pay a doctor intern who struggles under the bundle of work at the hospitals, an equivalent of probably 70,000, where if you slash off all the necessary statutory deductions and taxes, it comes to around 30,000. That our union will be patient enough to wait for sanity to prevail while outside. We waited for 7 years to get the degrees. We've waited for 7 years to get this particular CBA implemented. It's just 30 weeks, 30 days into the strike.
So it's either 150,000 for the interns or nothing at all.
Yes, nobody just slashes your salary without negotiation, especially when you have a CBA. Yes, and that for us is a foregone conclusion. We don't want to discuss the issue of interns pay. In our mind, fixated there, because it's in a CBA. Do not just, bastardize a CBA in a willy-nilly manner. So we'll discuss the other things. Because there are many other things in that CBA that have already been trashed out in the garbage pit. Those ones you're willing to discuss with the aim of actually also not throwing them into the garbage pit.
Okay, on Sunday, that is yesterday, President William Ruto said that as a country we need to live within our means, that the current wage bill is 47% against 35%, which should be the case. What's your reaction on that? Now that you are asking for the CBA to be implemented, but the head of state is saying that we actually living beyond our means as a nation.
If you are frugal and you're operating as a country that is living beyond its means, then it should be seen everywhere. It shouldn't just be seen when it's doctors who want their rights implemented. You do remember that this collective bargaining agreement, when pen was put to paper, current president is actually a vice president in this country, and a child born then is joining school this year. So we have had 7 years, and it makes little sense to have a discussion about frugality. In a country where you can see people living in lagis, especially the government coffers. In a country where we are forcing the employment of the CASs. In a country where everything is spent in a spurious manner. You want to tell us the whole of this government machinery, couldn't put together. It's about 4 billion shillings to honor the CBA that they signed in 2017. What that tells of government like that is that it's belligerent and it's conniving. Just terms that should not be used to describe our sensible government.
Yes. So health is actually devolved. I mean, who should be held accountable really? Is it the national government or the county government?
It's easy to say health is involved, but the accurate statement is that health is a shared function. while most of the brick and mortar, the healthcare workforce and stuff like that was sent to the counties, there is a very important bit that remains centrally, according to Schedule 4 of the Constitution. That is policy. You know, policy, in my understanding, I hope yours as well, is supposed to guide how this healthcare industry is managed, because you can't have healthcare in a solitary state, in a republic, not a federal state, run in 47 different ways. You can imagine if the police sector was run in 47 different ways. Each county has his. Tharaka can employ a doctor at 500,000, Mandela will pay 20. That is a disaster. And if you can't see the disaster in waiting with that approach, then there is something critically wrong with this country, and the person remaining behind as alive should just switch off the lights and move to another country. The Ministry of Health has abdicated its role in policy making. That's number one. The other issue that you should know is that a majority, a good fraction of the budget from the exchequer actually remains the Ministry of Health. And another factor to support our demands that the mother ministry should be held accountable is that we can't say health is devolved when it fits them, and when it doesn't, we say health is central. For instance, the hiring of the community health workers. Who's been doing it? The national government. Why didn't you say that health is devolved? And the management equipment scheme, all those CT scans you see being sent to the country. In a devolved system, who should be purchasing those things? It's the county governments who purchase them. It's the national government.
So you see, it's actually a shared function. So the national government and the county governments should be held accountable.
Yes,
in regards to this. The reason I'm saying that is because today the governor of Nyeri, Mutaike, actually say that 59 doctors out of 62 are actually going to be sacked. And he actually directed that their salary is not to be paid starting this month. I mean, what's your take on that?
59 out of 62. What remains of the other three? They should also...
Actually, the governor actually wrote show cause letters to the doctors, but only 3 of them responded.
Okay.
So meaning 59 are actually on the brink of being sacked.
So such is our government. You see, that's a tragic comedy. And they should be allowed to calm down and be reasonable. Because after sacking doctors, where are you moving from there? Have you solved that problem? Have you solved that particular problem? Who will take care of the healthcare workers in Nyeri? If his aim was to intimidate the doctors by showing them those sacking letters, you actually call them love letters, that gimmick shall not, cannot work. Doctors leaving their places of work is not child play, that they will be threatened and intimidated with a few things typewritten on a white paper called sacking letters. That will not scare our members. Yes. And what he's doing is actually emboldening our resolve. Because what that means is that, we will leave nobody behind. It is either all of us or none at all.
Okay, so what happens when they get sacked?
They will be unsacked immediately. Because what happens, I mean, try to explain to me that a country has dismissed all its doctors. Then what happens? What is the next step that that country will do? Will it manufacture new doctors? Will it go to India, Ethiopia to get doctors? Yes, because the rest of these doctors will not want to work in a belligerent county government like that one. And it's not the first time it's happening anyway. So actually, this is a time where to give it.
All right. And a section of Kenyans will argue that the Kenyans who cannot afford to go to the private hospitals are really suffering right now. We have cancer patients. We have people who actually are admitted in hospitals. Who's going to take care of them? Kenyans are suffering. At what cost?
We commiserate a lot with the suffering of Kenyans. And that is why we've been making a lot of noise, and we'll continue making a lot of noise, so that we disturb and interrupt leadership that doesn't want to listen. Because it's taken this long for them to solve this problem. we are the ones who are with those patients every day. So we know what they do go through. And at the right time, when the government decides to call off its own strike, we are more than willing and ready to go back into those safe havens that are.
What do you mean when you say that the government calls off its own strike?
Yeah, because it's the government that's on strike. We all know that. I mean, it's been a common lingua franca, and we really mean it when you say that you don't fail to do the job that you've been given, Kennedy. You fail to do the job that you've been given. Then when the people under you react, then you say that it's the reaction that is wrong. It's a government that has failed to do the job that it was given. It's a government that has failed to honor 2017 CBA. Ours is a reaction to an action. Action of which the government sat on its able hands instead of putting coins together to reach a pound and sort of that collective bargaining agreement. They went on strike. It is now that they are talking because you found them where they are. Yes.
We're talking about strikes. Tomorrow, let me quote you. Last week on Wednesday, in the presser with a section of MPs led by Honorable Babu Wina, you say that we are going to have the mother of all demonstrations on Tuesday. That is tomorrow. I mean, what did you mean when you say that? And you know that right now, the strike is not called for by the courts.
We're going to have a thunderous row of our members. They will descend in the streets of Nairobi like locusts in the Egyptian fields tomorrow from 9. Because in as much as we are making a deliberate effort in our custodial way in offices, we also have our right to picket, demonstrate, and inform Kenyans of where the government has been acting in a willy-nilly fashion, like this particular instance, and make sure that our voice is heard loud and clear, not just in our, what will I call, our white-collar boardroom setup. So that's the purpose of this demonstration, is to call, there are calls for action for the other Kenyans to also join us. This is not a demonstration by doctors only. It's a demonstration by the doctors and Kenyans at large who have healthcare at the pitfall bottom of their hearts. Yes.
So actually tomorrow is also going to be another busy day because Honorable Babu Wino actually gave a notice of motion for the impeachment of Cabinet Secretary of Health, Susan Nakulucha. And you are there and you supported actually the motion. Is it the solution to this whole doctor's strike?
At this particular point in time, where everything seems to be getting on deaf ears, we are just throwing in all the tools, the kitchen sink, something will stick on the wall. And to imagine that you have a cabinet secretary who's supposed to advise the president and did not give appropriate advice. First, allowing a president to demean himself by saying that interns are not doctors when they have the name employer has been mentioned 7 times. Having the first opinion, actually, Cabinet Secretary is one word, the first opinion that interns should not be earning what they're earning, and showing complete lack of leadership for a month. I think something got to give, and we're not born with those positions as a birthright. If one Kenyan has died, a country has gone without doctors for 2 days, that is reason enough in a decent country for the cabinet secretary to resign willingly. But you know how we are living. We just start yelling at funerals, trying to chase our own shadows as ghosts while calling cartels. Now, the answer is you've been incompetent and should pave way for somebody else who can do the job.
You're actually supporting the impeachment. I mean, who do you support for the position?
For the position of Cabinet Secretary for Health, I think my opinion already matters.
Now you want her out?
I want her incompetence out. I am supporting a Mr. or Mrs. Competent into that position.
And who is that person?
It is a prerogative of the president to choose for us because we chose him. And now it's his prerogative to weigh where the potential leaders that you have in this country and see who befits to hold such a critical docket as health, because once things slip out of the docket of health, what you see are these deaths and this human suffering. We have to have someone who is completely composed, who doesn't rush to the next microphone at a funeral, to disparage healthcare workers, because that only adds more fuel to the fire that's already there.
Actually, as you conclude, many Kenyans don't actually understand what is the 2017 CBA by the doctors.
Absolutely.
And they're wondering, why are doctors striking?
Absolutely.
In a nutshell, what are some of the main things in that CBA that you're actually demanding for them to be implemented so that doctors can come back to work?
Yeah, that's a good question. First of all, in that CBA, it contains a clause on comprehensive medical cover for all doctors. What that means is, you can imagine working in a pineapple plantation, and you deny that pineapple, or it's sold to you at exorbitant rates. Doctors do not have insurance, and it's usually sporadic, erroneous, and inadequate. You work in a hospital where if you fall, you have to be taken to a hospital that is cheaper that you can afford. I mean, that's basic, comprehensive medical cover. Secondly, at that time after the 100-day strike, we negotiated for a paltry salary increase. It was about 12,000, 15,000. Same as Poziba, Ufa, Utajenga Kuta. So it has accumulated arrears from 2017 to now, okay? Which is not much, but that particular negotiation of the paltry salary increase of 12,000, 15,000, that's reasonable. We have negotiated how it should be paid since 2017 to now, 7 years. A kid born then is now in school, okay? And once you tell them, you'll hear the top echelons coming in serious say that, I even heard Dr. Moth the other day, that we have paid on our part. That is being less than honest, because what they have paid is that they've paid for the 80 or so doctors who work at the Ministry of Health headquarters, while this money is supposed to come from the exchequer and distributed to all the doctors around. So they have not paid 7 years down the line. And it's not an issue of a ballooned wage bill. It's not an issue of that. It's just an issue of being willing to do it, because 7 years is a long time. Now they're paying with the rest. Then the other issue was our interns. We had a clause there that they don't need to stay out for years on end after clearing campus, that we agreed. They'll be posting these ladies and gentlemen to go serve Kenyans, because we actually have a shortage after 30 days of clearing school, so that the knowledge is still fresh, and Kenyans do need them. Right now what you're getting is that they're being posted in batches. Like, it's completely erratic and unplanned for, okay? And to add insult to injury, they want to take away 9 shillings out of every 10 they used to make and leave them with 1 shilling. That is a 90% pay cut. That's unreasonable. It's injustice.
So what do you think that needs to be done so that doctors can actually get back to work?
Give our interns their letters as per the CBA. As per the CBA now, the net salary of a doctor, they know what it is. Provide all these doctors in this country with comprehensive insurance so that they afford the health care that they do offer. It is disheartening to hear the horror tales of doctors caught in mental issues because they face death every day. And they know that when they fall sick from those communicable diseases that they encounter at the hospitals, they will not be able to afford those things. And it has been happening. It is not just mental stuff. Then pay the doctors what is owed to them, just around 12,000, 15,000 each as per the CBA. Yeah, things are just simple as that.
So without that, not going back to it.
No, we can't go back on a promissory note. No, there's no promissory note. In fact, calling these things negotiation is a misnomer, because negotiations happened and ended in 2017. Yeah, so we're waiting for implementation. Yes.
All right. Yeah. I guess that's a good point to end there. We'll see how this strike will go on from tomorrow. The mother of all demonstrations. Looking forward to see what will look like. But thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Kenny.
That has been Dr. Abidan Mwachi, the national chairman of the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, shedding more light on what is all this doctor strike that we're experiencing, which is now in its 4th week. Now, with that, we come to the end of the Dialogue KE tonight. On behalf of the amazing team that made this production a success. Have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kennedy Kimani. I'm a co-presenter. The Sun language interpretation tonight has been Boniface.
In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves,